right, Jim. This is the worst weather. I can't stand it anymore.
You've got to make up your mind once and for all. What are we going to do? Is it going to be hot dogs? Are we going to feed him shrimp here at Rocky's and bring a few of his friends down and feed them a few smelts? Or
well, it's his 80th birthday. It should be something special. He's a
I
good
know,
guy.
I know. He's had 79 other birthday parties. What hasn't he had? All the ice cream, all the cake over 79 years. It must be unbelievable.
What? Well, wait a second. Now we've got a choice: Rockies or something more deluxe.
Well, they got a few park benches. We could sit the people down. You know, a couple of his friends.
No. There's got to be something. But I got an idea.
Hey, that's a good idea.
What do you think?
Yeah, the spirit of Chicago. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
He's kind of the spirit of Chicago himself.
Yeah.
Spent all this time on the lake.
Yeah.
It'd be very appropriate, I think, if we had the party here.
Between all his boats and his lifeguarding and all those people that he saved. How many people did he save on this lake?
Hundreds,
I heard hundreds too. There could be more.
That's what he says, at least.
Hundreds of people owe their lives to Jim MacDonald. Can you believe that?
That's right.
God, my gosh, unbelievable. Well, okay. Why aren't they here today?
They will be for the party.
For the party. Let's invite them.
Wait a second. I got one idea, though. He's got thousands of pictures, and all these stories. Why don't we do something that we can show everybody so that they can see it and share all the memories like we have?
Not a bad idea. Almost like a documentary type thing.
And if you can't do it, nobody can. We'll get Dennis to help, maybe John Martin.
Yeah. All those good guys.
All right, let's do it.
We're all just sitting around on our butts these days anyway. No. Okay, let's do it.
All right, you want to? All right,
good idea.
Let's get out of this weather.
All right, thank you.
But first, before we get to the viewer mail, let's do our top 10 list tonight, shall we?
What a fabulous.
Okay, Dave, here they are, the top 10 reasons why we're all gathered here at Navy Pier today. Number 10, Helen loves a good party. Number 9, McCormick Place was all booked up. Number 8, thought casino gambling was legalized at Navy Pier. Number 7, Jim Jr. heard there was a ham fest in progress. Number 6, talent scouts here to cast next season's Twin Peaks. Number 5, we all thought Chicago Fest was still going on. Number 4, Jane thought today was the start of Festa Italiana. Number 3, this gives us the best view of the sanitary district filtration plant. Number 2, the charter boats don't dock at Rainbow Beach. And number 1, the real reason we're all gathered here, it's Jim MacDonald's 80th birthday. James MacDonald turned 80 years old today. It is a joyful occasion, the celebration of a long, happy, and healthy life. We thought we should look back on Jim's life, remembering the anecdotes and maybe sort through the old photographs. And by doing that, maybe we can appreciate the wealth of some of his experiences as a son, a brother, a husband, father, grandfather, uncle, and friend. Jim was born in Chicago on June 2nd, 1910, to John and Carolyn MacDonald. He joined half-brothers John and Howard, with sister Mary and brothers George and Arthur soon to follow. Mary died at an early age, and Carrie and Jack were left with the task of raising a large family of boys. In 1916, when tuition was the hefty sum of 75 cents a month, Jim entered kindergarten at Holy Angel School. He spent the bulk of his years at St. Bride's on Chicago's South Side. It was during this time he met his lifelong friend, George Schwerin, a most unique man. While a 7th grader at St. Bride's, in fact, while playing at Lake Michigan, Jim rescued a drowning boy. He was destined to become a lifeguard. After graduating from Bowen High School, Jim formally started lifeguarding at Rainbow Beach on Chicago's South Side. He worked along with his good friend George, as well as Johnny Weissmuller, actor and Olympic swimmer, and a man we would all know as Tarzan. Then it was on to Chicago's World's Fair. Jim was hired in 1933 as a crewman on the seaplanes at Milwaukee Airport. He lived at the fair 7 days a week. Ironically, Harry Jacobson, the man who hired Jim, also may have saved his life. One morning, with a storm brewing, Harry pulled Jim out of the last passenger flight leaving that day to take the trip himself. 15 minutes later, all 9 aboard were killed when the plane crashed. Somehow, the air operation did continue. Jim's younger days continued as a bellman and desk clerk at the Sherwin on the Lake Hotel. It was a perfect job for that part of his life. He met Robert Riskin there, and the two became fast friends, and they are to this day. Soon after, Jim worked as a lineman in Indiana, installing high lines under FDR's New Deal. These lines provided electricity to homes which previously had none. On May 28, 1942, Jim and his brother Art left the beautiful family home on Lake Park Avenue, rode a streetcar to Van Buren, and were inducted into the armed forces. And what a journey they began. Joining the Air Force, Jim was stationed in England with the 8th Air Force 305th Bomb Group. He flew on B-17s, such as Flak Alley Lil and the Windy City Avenger, with an all-Chicago crew. His positions varied from engineer to waist gunner to top turret gunner. Jim MacDonald flew 51 missions in all, including one on D-Day itself. He earned 4 air medals and the Distinguished Flying Cross. Returning to the States in 1944, he did a stint as a helicopter mechanic and instructor in Wichita Falls, Kansas, and then Jim came home in September of 1945. Calling his Aunt Margaret, he asked the now famous line in the family, "Where do we live?" Jim returned home to a house full of loving family, including cousins Kay and Margaret. He was back in Chicago. Soon after, Jim opened his own business, High-Low Electric. But tragedy struck when his partner suddenly died. Jim's luck, however, was to get better. In November 1947, Jim met Helen Ward. Helen recalls seeing Jim for the first time as he was getting on a bus with his brother Art at 75th and Exchange. Now, Aunt Helen said, "He's too old for you." Nevertheless, they were married February 7, 1948, with best friends Dee Panazzo, Magnuson, and George Schwerin in attendance. Although enjoying his work at Charles A. Stevens, Jim began his civil service career for the city of Chicago in 1948. Here he worked for almost 30 years as a lineman, in the engineering office and as a foreman. He served Chicago until 1977, when he retired. In May of 1953, Jim and wife Helen were blessed with the arrival of their son Jim Jr., and in July 1956, daughter Jane was born. With a move to the suburbs, Jim and Helen's life together continued. They celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary in 1988. Although retired, Jim is still active in the 8th Air Force Reunion Association.
The B-17F model is a B-17 without the chin turret on it.
And just recently he received his 50-year pin from Local 9. Perhaps he is now most active with grandson Matthew, born to daughter Jane and son-in-law Ken Nix on September 21st of 1988. Jim, you've had a lot of roles in this life, but most important among them were obviously Helen's husband, Jane and Jim's dad, and Matthew's grandpa. Happy 80th birthday, Jim MacDonald.
Jim, on behalf of the Daly family, I'd like to wish you a happy 80th birthday and thank you from all the fine citizens that you've been an outstanding public servant. Thank you.
Sergeant Jim MacDonald, and I'd like to tell you about my career in the service during World War II. I had the most unusual tour of duty. I had 51 bombing missions with the 305th Bomb Group, which was Curtis LeMay's outfit. I was in D-Day. My helmet here is unusual. This is a summer hat. It has a microphone in the head, here on the side here that you can plug into the side of the plane. I've had a lucky career, and our whole crew was lucky. They finished at the 2 weeks after D-Day and on their way back to the United States. Then I was going to be transferred to Guam, to the B-29s, because Curtis LeMay wanted all the fellows that were in good enough condition in 8th Air Force to go to the 20th Air Force, I think it was, over there in Guam, because he was already transferred there, and he asked to have all the fellows who finished here go over there. Well, at the very last minute, they have another program for me. They said, "You're not going to Guam. You're going to stay here and teach helicopters." Helicopters? They're just starting the program. And they're all civilians, teachers. No GIs were teaching us. So I would become an instructor in it for the last 6 months of my career, and then I was discharged down in Shepherd Field. But I went to about a dozen different bases from Chanute Field, and I also went through 5 different technical schools, and that's not easy. These are the original gloves that I had in all the missions that I flew in. There's a crew number is still on there. J118 is my ship number. And these are sheepskin. And inside of these gloves you would wear nylons or electric heated gloves inside. Because if you had to use your hands to do something to your gun and the temperature was 40 to 50, 60 below zero. So you'd touch the metal, your hands would stick to it like glue. I went everywhere. I went to Norway, I went to Denmark, I went to Oslo, Bergen, Trondheim, all kinds of places in France, mostly in France. Okay. Only a couple of that I went to in Germany. This helmet here has got my total on here. I kept score here. I had a pencil in my thing here, so every time I'd come back, I'd go mark another one down here. I have to tell you about this one time. I got into a different plane that I didn't fly in all the time, and all of a sudden I looked out and everything was as green as the grass. I said, "What the heck is happening here? I can't see very good." So I looked and I grabbed this thing here and I go down. Empty. The other thing was hanging over here. It came apart and I wasn't getting any oxygen for about 3 or 4 minutes there. So I got the other thing and immediately put it together, and you have a control over here and right next to you, which you can turn on the low, medium, high. Boom, I had it on and I was getting this fresh oxygen in a hurry. So I'll put it on here just for old time's sake.
Okay.
And by the way, I have a good audience today. Right. Do you recognize me now? The Red Cross gave me this here homemade woolen scarf, and I still have it today because every mission I flew with, I had that wrapped around my throat to keep from freezing. On the way into the side of the plane, which the windows are wide open, the wind is coming in, but on the way out it cuts your feet like a knife right through here. And I had all like a cold sore all on this side here. I won the Distinguished Flying Cross and 4 air medals, which I'm very proud of to get. This is a crew here that I flew with only about 5 times there. The Windy City Avenger. You can see the guy. I'm right in the center of this one here. Right there. This was in the Sun Times while I was still in England. And they sent it to me from England over to England, and I got it and I brought it back with me. And all of the fellows that I still remember. This is when we just got back here with Flack Alley Lil. This is her up here. This is when I was a waist gunner. Here's the 250 caliber guns, and there's a 50 calibers. You can see it here, and there's the bullets there that comes out of here. Every time you pull a trigger, there's 5 to 10 shells come out, and that's it. These are 50 caliber machine gun bullets here. This is a copper jacket over a steel. This is not all brass here. There's steel inside of this here projectile. This here is the rifle bullets here, and this is rifle bullet. Here's another 50 caliber. That's a dummy machine gun bullet. If your equipment goes to hell, you have to sew it yourself because the tailor isn't around there to take care of it. In case you get knocked cold, they can find out who the hell you are in a hurry by looking inside of your jacket. There's your number. 36 is this from this section. And then the rest of the last 4 numbers, 2800, is my number, but the rest of it tells me I'm from this section of the country. This is Squadron Inland. It shows that we fly day and night, half day and half night. Here's a Distinguished Flying Cross. It's not easy to get.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The plane will come in and taxi in like it did a while ago. We'll shut down 2 engines, take the steps out, we'll get everybody off and get you folks on there. You go on first so you can go right on forward, clear up to the nose of it.
What a ride.